Nonverbal communication. From the handshake to the hug, all the way to the high five. There's no denying that much of what we say isn't actually said at all. Now you may be asking yourself, what is nonverbal communication? Why is it so important? How can it help me improve my workplace? All of these questions and more will be answered in the following video. Nonverbal communication is a process of communication by which wordless messages are conveyed. These messages can be conveyed in numerous ways, including shaking hands, a nod, or even something as simple as a smile or frown. Nonverbal communication, however, is not limited to messages intentionally sent. In fact, the large majority of nonverbal messages we send are sent unconsciously. This includes things like posture and eye contact. And have you ever wondered why your friend Dave needs to be 6 inches from your face to talk to you? Nonverbal communication is the answer. And seeing that as much as 2/3 of what we say is nonverbal, it makes sense to become aware of its effects, both positive and negative. Today, we'll be looking at 4 different contexts involving nonverbal communication. We'll talk a bit about what each of these messages means, and we'll offer our recommendations for handling each situation.
Do not expect your workers to always be at their best. These are some cues that you need to look out for to detect tiredness and illness in your employees. Yawning, bad posture, lack of eye contact, rubbing of the eyes, and lack of attention are among some nonverbal gestures to look out for. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, paid sick leave was available to 61% of private industry workers and 89% of state and local government workers as of March 2009. We recommend taking short breaks in between meetings or presentations. Allow employees to be excused if he or she is not feeling well at all. One last recommendation would be to change the pace of the meeting by using more interaction with the crowd. The following are some nonverbal behaviors to notice when people are rude in the workplace. Not paying attention to a coworker when he or she is addressing you. Talking on the phone while someone is trying to speak to you. And not being helpful to requests of coworkers give you. The following are some recommendations we can provide you to exercise when you experience rude, nonverbal behaviors. First of all, do not take it personal if someone is rude to you. You never know what that person may be experiencing that day. Try to be empathetic about others. Also, keep your composure if you feel someone is being rude. It is better to try to keep a comfortable environment in the workplace. Lastly, if the above recommendations do not work, confront if necessary. However, do it in a tactful, civil manner.
Another category of nonverbal communication is personal space or proxemics. This refers to the amount of distance we need and the amount of space we perceive as belonging to us. Different distances are intuitively assigned for situations involving 4 levels. First, intimate relations or intimate distance. For example, kissing or wrestling. which requires 18 or less inches. Second, casual personal relations, or personal distance. This requires 18 or more inches, depending on familiarity. Third, social relations or social distance. Interaction by coworkers or salespeople. Distance is about 4 to 12 feet. Fourth, public interaction or public distance. This is seen in public parks, restaurants, streets, or public rallies. Speakers keep a distance from the crowd. The distance is normally 12 or more feet. Factors such as social norms, situational factors, personal characteristics, and level of familiarity influence use of personal space. Additionally, cultural factors play a part, as people from countries such as Latin America or the Middle East feel more comfortable standing closer to each other, while persons of Northern European descent tend to have a preference for greater distance. And how do we deal with violators of our personal space? Some suggestions. 1. Maintain a distance. If you stand too close to someone, you can make them feel threatened or uncomfortable. 2. Respect other people's culture and desire for space. And 3. Avoid contact that could be misleading, could be misinterpreted, or that could be seen as sexual harassment. Seating arrangements are the display of seats in a room, auditorium, banquet hall, etc. It is a form of nonverbal communication and varies greatly from culture to culture. In the United States, for example, the head or end of the table is usually reserved for leaders. Now we'll examine several seating positions. 1. The basic seating position, where the head or end of the table is reserved for leaders. This allows the leader to see the people clearly without seeming competitive or aggressive. This can also be used to maximize on status or power. 2. The corner position. This is usually used by people who are engaged in a friendly, casual conversation. It avoids territorial division of the table. And third, the competitive or defensive position. In this position, competitors face each other, and it creates a defensive atmosphere where each party is able to take a solid stand without feeling lesser than the other party. However, it is also worth noting that in social situations such as restaurants, this position is seen as conversational rather than competitive. Where you sit in relation to other people is an effective way of obtaining cooperation from them. Aspects of their attitude toward you can also be revealed in the seating position they take relative to you. Cooperating people are likely to sit side by side. If you turn your back on someone, you are indicating disinterest and hostility. Here are some recommendations on seating arrangement. 1. Know an organization's power structure and know where to seat whom. If you're arranging the seating for a meeting or interview, consider the status of the people you'll be seating. And 2. Learn about other people's culture as it pertains to power, respect, and personal distance.